Welcome, Harmony Rucker League fans, to, well, it's not our normal. It's the remote viewing, the first ever remote IHRL podcast. See, I'm here at my house, and while Mason, he's at his place, like, how many? 5 hours away?
3 hours. So
3 hours away. But thank you to the lovely thing of technology, we're able to do this. We're able to film it. We're able to get a podcast up. So this is episode 4, season 2, year 6 of the Harmony Rucker League. I'm Walker Ward. Alongside me, as always, my co-host Mason Howard. I'm like doing my hand gestures, like he's right here, but it's
I
mirror,
am
so
right
I got to
here.
do it that way, this way. I don't know.
I don't know if it's gonna be
We're here.
flipped. We're both on the screen.
We're both
This
on
is
screen. We're here.
this is gonna be interesting.
This is different.
Um, very, very different. We've tried might be a little chemistry when we're gonna talk, things we gotta get down. So for the fans at home, we appreciate you sitting through this entire thing. It's probably a quicker hitter today. We're just gonna get through our storylines. But I mean, hey, it's Sunday and you got the IHL podcast to listen to. We made it work. So we gave it our all for this. So you guys go give it your all this Sunday afternoon at the Rucker.
Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Share it on your socials. Come on, we got to get this thing going here. But
Exactly.
anyways, without further ado, we're going to keep it just like we always do. Our top 3 stories coming out of the weekend. Mason, where do you want to start? Because we kind of covered some of well, we would say, I guess we don't necessarily have top 3 stories, but we just have some top stories coming out of the week. Where would you like to start on these?
I I think the best place to start is where we kind of left off last week, and that was with the big trades that were going on. So for any fans that don't recall, we had 4 teams trade. One trade was a big 3-team trade, 2 players from each team, all passed around,
Mm-hmm.
and then another 2-team trade between the Red Raiders and Black Panthers. So just to recap, let's go through it real quick. Polars trade away Anthony Keeney and Rylan Ristow to the Red Raiders. The Red Raiders trade away Will Harvey and Jack Lawson to the Knights. The Knights trade away Jeffy and CJ to the Polars. And then also the Red Raiders traded away Brevin Tolstrud to the Black Panthers for Father Time in return. So we had a lot of guys flopped around last week, and we got to see what these new teams look like and how they perform. And we had one team, all of the teams did pretty well, but we had one team stand out above the rest. And whose team was that, Walker?
So the Polars come off and put a 3-0 weekend up. Obviously, I think when the trade happened, obviously putting Zach and Jeffy together is like putting ketchup on your French fries.
Yeah,
It's like putting cheese on your burger. It's like putting ice cream on your brownie. It
it's
is
like
just
putting
things
the
that
IHRL
go
boys
together.
together. Yeah,
It's yes, the IHL boys together. It is just things that have chemistry and go together
yes,
because they grew up in the same household. They think alike. They have similar goals. They don't play the same though. And we were talking about this beforehand, how Zach is a shooter. Zach can shoot the ball lights out. But I would honestly describe Zach's game to be a little bit more of a slasher. He can
yes.
shoot the ball. You have to respect it. But if you fall for the pump fake, he is downhill, getting the bucket down low. And that's what he wants to do. He wants to slash, get the bucket down low, because the easiest thing is a layup, right?
Yes.
The actual cat is trying to bust out of the house. That's besides the point. I got distracted. But then you add Jeffy to the mix. And what does Jeffy like to do? The exact opposite. Jeffy just wants to sit in the corner, catch the ball, and shoot, right?
Just let
Jeffy
it
can
fly.
finish down low. He can finish down low, but he is more of a shoot first slash second. Zach's a slash first, shoot second, in my opinion. They might disagree, but that's kind of how I see their games playing. And those two together complement each other so well. So much so that we actually saw Zach's assist numbers go up this week because he's just getting downhill and passing the ball out to Jeffy, who's hitting those 2-pointers that they really, really won them the game. And I
Yeah,
believe you kind of, so I don't want to overtake you on this, but you've basically created a formula that's ranking, giving our Rucker players a score and then ranking them one through who's all played. And I believe we're only at like 42 players have played this year. I believe there's
yes.
8 players that have yet to show up. Where does, so when you were doing this, Jeffy falls where exactly on this?
Yeah, this was a huge surprise to me when I first created these rankings. I did not expect this at all. Last week when the rankings came out, he was already at number 2 in the entire league, which was a shock to me personally. I knew he was playing well, but that was pretty surprising. After a weekend where Jeffy dropped 23 points, had 27 rebounds, and 9 assists, 1 assist away from a weekend triple double, Jeffy has moved up the rankings to number 1 in the league. He is right
Whoa,
now, according to the Rucker rating, the best all around player in the league.
Jeffy. We're
Jeffy,
talking the guy,
Jeff, Jeffy.
Jeffy. Now, some players would say that Jeffy might have been getting a little ticky tacky out there.
We saw. I mean, there is stars in this league that are posting on their socials comparing Jeffy to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Saying that he's getting some cheap fouls, some just because he doesn't make the basket, he's saying, I got one. It's he's calling it after he misses the basket.
A classic father time move.
Classic father time move. And who's he's been spending a lot of time with? Father time.
Yeah, I mean, when you watched them play last week, there's a couple occasions. We didn't post all of it on our socials. A game that sticks out to me is the Lions versus Polars, that first game of the weekend. And we'll get more into this game in a little bit here. But if you remember correctly, at the end of that game, Jeffy checks the ball out. He's dribbling the ball. I think he dribbles the ball just like off his foot. Like he just loses the ball. I got one. I got one. He Atlee got me in the face. I had a video of it. The video's deleted because I had to save storage, but Atlee gets his hand kind of up there, maybe a slight brush of the peach fuzz on his chin. Not a lot of contact. Called a foul. The ball goes to the corner. And the one that went to the corner and Jeffy called a foul. I will admit there was some grabbing, some hugging going on down there. The Lions were in full like closeout mode. But I mean Jeffy, the Quincy Berlin jump ball that was on the socials, where he's not even playing defense. He sees 2 hands at the ball, he's jump ball immediately. It just feels like he's trying to do a couple different things at once. Like he's trying to play basketball, but also be the referee at the same time. And that's what we have AB there for. If we need a call, AB can make it.
AB. So Polars obviously like the trade aftermath. So then when we go to, let's move on to the Red Raiders, where the Polars sent Anthony and Rylan off to, and AB might have known what he was doing.
Did AB cook?
AB
Do we,
might
do
have
we,
cooked because, and Anthony had a weekend triple double, but
yes, he did.
11 points, 21 rebounds,
11
and 11
assists, something
assists, I
along
want
those
to say.
lines. Yes.
A weekend triple double. 11 assists, obviously, because, and Rylan Ristow had dropped what? 30-point weekend, I believe.
30-point weekend from Rylan Ristow. I will pull up his stats. I got him right here. Rylan Ristow, 30 points, 24 rebounds, 2 assists. And that's kind of back to what you saw from him a lot last year, especially when he was with the Suns. Those weekends where Jay Brink wasn't with the Suns and Rylan Ristow was the guy, he showed up in a lot of those weekends. I think this trade's going to be really good for his season.
And when we were kind of talking about last week how the Red Raiders now basically kind of have a bunch of twos, per se, I don't really think that anymore. I think Rylan Ristow has kind of emerged as the number one for the team.
Yes.
And, I think this is just me kind of looking at it from a broad perspective, but not comparing Rylan Ristow to Zach Hallgrud, but I think that they just kind of had a somewhat similar play style, that too similar, I guess, that it was kind of like when you try to take a magnet and you're trying to put it together, but you're not reversing the poles. You're kind of putting the poles together, and it's fighting each other, right? It's the
Hmm.
same. I think Zach and Zach and Rylan just had such a similar play style that it just didn't complement each other. And I think Rylan, same thing like last year with Jay Brink, like you just said, right? When Jay Brink wasn't there, Rylan was kind of running the show. Jay Brink returns, we're like, oh my gosh, these guys are going to be crazy. They just didn't quite gel. I think Rylan Ristow on the Red Raiders alongside Anthony and Grant Kennedy, once Brady Danielson gets healthy, having him back, um, and Father Time. You can't forget about the Father Time.
Ooh, Father
I
Time.
think
Father
Rylan
Time had some
Ristow
great
can be
moments this weekend. Yeah.
he did. He really came to play. Um had a couple two pointers, had a couple hustle plays. Obviously, Father Time's got to get that gas tank back. I don't know
Thing
if
is,
it
I
might be
respect that he recognized when he was out of gas. He did try to play through it. The second he ran out, he played hard for his minutes, and then he was as quick as he subbed in the game. He was right back out. Get a younger guy in there, and that's what Father Time needs to do if he wants to be a really impactful player in this league.
he's at a later part in his career where he kind of, and I think he's kind of realized like, hey, I don't have that. I don't have. I can hustle, but hustle's gonna take a toll on me. So I gotta keep in order to preserve my legacy, my hustle. I need to stay fresh at all times. He's kind of putting that ego aside and
Respect the
coming out with
rules.
this.
Respect
Respect
the
the rule.
rules, Father Time.
So then to keep it moving here, sending Will Harvey and Jack Loston to the Knights. The Knights also had a pretty decent weekend, pairing up Will Harvey with Logan Torgerson. This is the Knights had a 2-1 weekend. I guess what did you kind of see from the Knights in your opinion?
What did I see? I saw Logan Torgerson grab so many rebounds this weekend. He grabbed 48 rebounds.
48, too shy of a 50 bomb rebound.
Yes, and if you
Only played 3 games.
only played 3 games, 48 rebounds. The all-time record is 50 rebounds by Ethan Lane last year when LB was taking his stats. So, but what was crazy, the
Allegedly.
craziest to me is when LB, and not LB, when Ethan Lane got his rebound of 50 in weekend. That was heavily like looked at. We moved the HRL investigative crew investigated LB over that. The second Logan Torgerson grabbed 48. It's like it's normal for the guy. I think we need to be more shocked. This ties him for second all time in rebounds, and he had 21 points, 48 rebounds, 6 assists, and he was the focal point for a 2-1 weekend for the Knights. Will Harvey obviously put up his 2 pointers as well, but 48 points is crazy. 40 rebounds
And
is
that what I
crazy.
was gonna. That's what I was gonna say. I didn't look at where Will Harvey comes in on the player rankings after this week, but looking at just glancing over the stat sheet, I definitely saw a little bit more points, a little bit more. I can't think quality of play out of Will Harvey. Sorry, quality of play out of Will Harvey than when he was with the Red Raiders, where he was the focal point. I think on this Knights team, they're kind of doing like the Denver Nuggets style of the offense is going to kind of run through Torgy, and that's going to open up Will to get his shots up.
Yes, it will.
Um,
So last
Obviously,
week, oh, you keep going. You keep going. I don't mean to cut you off.
nope, nope. Go ahead.
So Will last week ranked 24th in the league with a Rucker rating of 47.92. That would put him around a third round equivalent pick. And you don't get that back overnight. So that's just kind of preface what I'm about to say. But he's worked his way up to 20th in the league with a score of 54.03. So that's about couple I can't about a 6 point jump, I would say. So that puts him right outside of the top risers. But about a 6 point jump from the guy, got himself back into like the second round quality. And if he keeps them stringing together these performances and he gets into that low teens, higher single digit numbers, like because if Torrey keeps rebounding the way he does and scoring about 20 plus a week, Torrey's a top 10 player in this league. If Will can get into
Mm-hmm.
that range again in Rucker rating, that this Knights team is going to be lethal.
The Knights team could be dangerous. I like the chemistry a lot more too with this Knights team. And
I agree.
is it possible that of that trade, all three teams benefited?
I think it's without goes without saying that the Polars have a 3-0. The Red Raiders went 2-1. The Knights went 2-1. I mean, the only thing that could throw you off from it being a benefit is if it was a cupcake schedule from one of these teams we didn't know.
Do you think one of them had a cupcake schedule?
I mean, I guess I don't remember any one of them having a cupcake schedule. Let's go take a look at it.
Okay. So the Polars, for instance, played the Lions and won.
Okay,
That's not a
you didn't even look at the rest of that. Yeah, that's not a cupcake schedule. That's the Lions.
Polars, no cupcake schedule. Black Panthers, and their final game was against the Hunters.
If you beat the Lions, if you play the Lions, that's not a cupcake schedule.
The Red Raiders played the Hunters, where they got their first win.
I can't give you a nod on that one.
Then the Red Raiders lost to the Knights.
Okay, well, something had to give if those two teams made a trade. Something had to give there. So
And
I
then the
mean,
Red Raiders beat the Wolves 21-20.
so the Red Raiders beat the worst team in the league,
Yes.
lost to a, the sixth that's the sixth seed right now, and then beat the second worst team in the league.
By one.
The Red Raiders
Okay.
had a cupcake schedule. The
So
Red
you
Raiders
Red
had
Raiders
a
had a
cupcake
cupcake schedule.
schedule.
Okay. How about the Knights here? The Knights go
Okay.
2-1 this weekend.
Yes, they did.
The Knights lose to the Gators 21-14.
Yeah,
They didn't just lose, they lost 21-14. That's what
big
in Rucker terms,
loss.
that's what we would call a blowout.
I watched that game. I think you were there next to me. They weren't ever competitive, it seemed.
Now, second round, we just said it before, Knights beat the Red Raiders 22-16. And in their final game of the night, the Knights beat the Red Sun.
The Knights, that's an interesting weekend because you play the second best team in the league, you get blown out. Not a good look for it. You're not looking like a contender. And then you play the Red Raiders, where it's like between those two teams that we're talking about, something had to get. One of those teams had to win. Red Raiders below them in the rankings, obviously. Knights get a win, solid win. That's a good Red Raiders. That seems to be a good Red Raiders team. And then the Suns would be a good win if the Suns weren't having an 0-3 weekend. You might have just caught them on a bad day. The Red
The
Sun, I
Red
should say.
Sun, the Red Sun have an 0-3 weekend. Now, you do have to think, did the Red Sun struggle because of no Carter Glenn?
The Red Sun, I believe it's tough to say because the Red Sun went 3-0 without Carter Glenn last week. But, I mean, you're without your second rounder. You go 3-0, you're like, oh my God, we have this great depth. You go 0-3, and you can go, we don't have a second rounder. So they were kind of in a situation the last 2 weeks where, like, they can't lose, basically. Carter Glenn returns this week from state track. He is officially done. They did not make the state finals in the 4x4. Great season for them, though. They're, yeah, let's clap it up. Great season from all of our track athletes. We'll have Adrian Ringles back. We'll have Carter Glenn back. I don't know if we have any other track athletes that made it to state in the Rucker League, but great season from all those guys. I'm excited to have them
But
back.
to keep going on the Red
Yes.
to keep going on the Red Sun, I was just kind of glancing over to see like what happened. And one loss, I guess, for the Red Suns, sorry, really stood out to me. And it wasn't necessarily about the loss, it was more about just how suffocating of defense the Storm played on the Red Sun. The Storm came in and clouded over the Sun. In that game, Colt Landers went off. Colt Landers had himself a day. On the flip side, for the Red Sun, their first round pick, Gavin Hubka, the guy that they built their franchise around, right? Built
Yes.
the entire year around Gavin Hubka. They traded down in the draft, grabbed him with that number 9 pick, liked what they saw out of Carter Glenn at the rookie showcase, grabbed him. Those two have had chemistry. It's going to be great to have those two back. But in the game, the Red Sun versus the Storm, Gavin Hubka only had 2 points.
Yeah, 2 points from Gavin Hubka, six from Shopsky, six from Dylan Schultz.
Mm-hmm.
And, Gavin Hubka, definitely one of the better players in the league. However, his game is not suited to play against a guy as big as Cole Landers.
No.
So I don't know. I don't recall how the Red Sun. Oh, yeah, Red Sun lose by 7 to Colt Landers. They lose by 7 to Ethan Lane. Those are two games where Gavin Hubka has to face off against the two best post defenders in the league. So then that kind of makes you think when playoff time comes around, you got to run through one of these teams to make it into the playoffs. Carter Glenn makes a difference. However, are they going to have their best player playing at his best later in the season? Because we've seen them kind of get shut down by these bigger post players now.
Mm-hmm. Do they have what it takes to win? Because that's the point of the whole thing, is to win championships. And that's what a lot of these owners mid-season need to be thinking about. It like, oh, we almost had the win, but we played really hard. That's not what's going to do it. The early season, you might pick up a win later in the season. It might be a lucky one. But you have to think, when we get to playoffs, it's series. It's not just one game. In a series, do you have the size? Do you have the edge? Do you have the ability to put points on the board consistently and adapt and win a series against these other teams? I guess is basically what it's going to come down to. So if you're sitting in the middle of the season and you're looking at yourself, right? If I'm Sam Rustad and I'm looking at my team right now, obviously, like we said, no Carter Glenn, but does my team has what it takes to beat the Storm in a best-of-3 series? If I'm Mason Herkamp right now and I'm looking and my team starts off 1-2, hey, we had a rough first weekend. After that, the Wolves have gone 0-6
Then
since that 1-2 weekend. They are currently 1-8. In my mind, they're the worst team in Rucker League. I know you can say the Hunters are worse. No, I just think that the
Hunters beat the
Wolves.
Wolves. The Hunters beat the
Yeah, no, the Hunters.
Wolves.
Wolves. That's yes. Something is wrong there. Though there's no reason that the Wolves should be as bad as they are. Obviously, they haven't had Darian Hirschberger, but they have John Prestonman. They have Wilson Storoff. They have Ryan Holman, and they have Carter O'Connor, who, like I said, is my steal of the 5th round. The Wolves just, what's going on? Because they should not be as bad as they are. John is having a good season. I believe if you look at the statistics and to find where John Pressman ranks, he ranks 6th in quality of players as a Rucker player.
Yeah.
So in my mind, that tells me that John is not the problem but we've had this in years past where John puts up his points, he gets his assists. John is a focal point of the offense, but his team just doesn't have what it takes. Ryan Holman, if you look at him, he is ranked the 19th, quality of play in Rucker right now. That's a 2nd rounder. He was taken in the 3rd round. Okay. Wilson Starhoff, 21st ranking in Rucker as Rucker players right now. That's a 3rd round pick right there. Okay. Ryan and Wilson just basically flip flop. And then if you go down here, Carter O'Connor is currently playing at a 41. 5th rounder, still top of the 5th round.
Top of the 5th round.
Something just isn't happening with these Wolves players because the Wolves are in every single game.
They
They just
are.
can't close it
Yes.
out. You know how we always talk about how the Gators were cursed,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
Is John Prestiman cursed?
I didn't want to be the one to say it. I think everybody's probably thinking it. John has had season after season after season where he is one of the best players in the league, hands down. I do this Rucker
Mm-hmm.
rating thing. I've gone back, I've tracked years past. His rookie season, want to know where John Pressman ranked in the Rucker? Number one.
Number one? Number
He
one.
was the best. He's always because the way the rating work is how well do you play, how well do you stack up against your peers in every stat category, and he's always like
Mm-hmm.
at least top 10 in every single statistical category. I mean, he's just that well rounded. Why can't his teams win? Why can't they win? I don't know. If I had to analyze the Wolves, I would say John, I need more scoring out of you. You got to be a top five scorer in this league. You have the ability. I need to see more aggressiveness. I need to see more scoring out of you, and I need to see Ryan Holman step it up on the offensive end as well. He gets a lot of post touches, not a lot of post points. He is one of the biggest guys in the league. He has really nice feet. He gets to his spots. A lot of missed layups. I know he has it in him, but you leave a lot of points off the board.
So I'm looking at this just right now. And right now, as it sits, John Prestiman is currently sitting at number 12 in the league with points per game with 6.4.
Way
That's
too
not
low for
enough.
John.
That is not enough for John Prestiman. On the flip side, however, he's averaging 2.7 assists per game, which puts him at third. Very close behind him, his teammate, Wilson Storhoff. That's what Wilson's there for, right? Wilson is not putting up points per game. Wilson can score the ball. I'm not saying Wilson's not a scorer, but Wilson is a floor general. He's a pass first, shoot second. Okay.
Yes. You
And
need Wilson to be a floor general.
and where else does John rank, right? So he's he's 12th in points per game. He's third in assists per game. And when it comes to rebounds, John is single-handedly he's leading that team with 8 rebounds per game. That puts him at seventh in the league.
Yeah,
Is it a
it boggles my mind. The Wolves, they lead the league in assists right now, in total assists. I mean, it doesn't surprise with two guys ranking inside the top five. The Red Sun are second. So the Wolves have 62 assists in the season. Red Sun in second with 56. Black Panthers with 55. So on and so forth. The Red Raiders are the last team in the league with 35. So that shows the gap. So number one has 62. Number 10 has 35. Both teams 1-8, 2-7. So it's this weird thing where it's like usually you see the better passing teams, especially if you're in basketball, are going to be the higher rated teams. You know, the Wolves are probably losing by about 3 points per game. If they have that extra 3 points, they might be in more games and be winning more games. John's averaging 6 points per game. You got to get to the nine. Got to get to 9 points per game. That could be the difference between a lot of wins and losses.
Obviously I'm gonna scratch the Black Panthers game because that they lost 21-12, but then they lost 19-22 to the Hunters and 21-20 to the Red Raiders. Close games. I'm gonna put you on the spot here, Mason. Okay. I'm gonna go off script. I'm gonna put you on the spot. What has been the biggest surprise to you? Anything. I'm talking player, team, anything in the Rucker this year. What has been the most surprising, the most like shocking in your opinion?
The most shocking thing I'm gonna give you two. Most shocking thing,
Two.
Jeffy being MVP candidate. So that's number one. Jeffy, I think he might be frozen right now. Okay. I
And
can't
he's
see
capable of it.
you're a little frozen on me. Can I
Bros.
Yeah, okay. We're
Oh,
back.
I don't know what's going on.
You're good.
Let me
I can see you. You're moving again. You're in
thank
your
you.
the Red Sun shelter. Okay, we're back
We're
with
off
the
the red sun.
ITRL. So first
If I'm
one
frozen,
is
I don't know. I'm moved.
okay. Jeffy being an MVP candidate, top rated player in record rating, absolutely just dominating in points per game, rebounds per game, and getting his assist numbers up. I wasn't expecting that out of him this season. Number two, and I shouldn't say this is a surprise, but it is because I mean I didn't think this team drafted overly well, but with the caliber of people they have in the organization, I thought they'd be better, and that's the Black Panthers. The Black Panthers
Black Panther.
pulling Quincy Berland right away. Logan Clavder didn't know
Mm-hmm.
what to expect. He's playing solid. Nothing great, nothing bad, solid. And then obviously you've already traded for Father Time. You had the owner of the year last year. You had the finals winning owner of the year the last year. So now you're pulling in Quincy Berland, a solid second rounder, and then two great owners. And it's a dumpster fire over there. They are doing their all, and they can't get out of this 1-2, sometimes 2-1. But I just I don't know if they're going to go 3-0 anytime soon.
at any point. And that actually kind of answers what I was going to do a follow-up question to what's your biggest disappointment. I'm going to say that's the Black Panthers have been your biggest
Yes,
disappointment of the entire year. Um, I guess let's before we get out of here. So we're back around. We're back to this is going to be we're coming up to week 4. Obviously, Mother Nature has just not wanted to cooperate with us. She's put us inside 2 out of the 3 weeks, and I hope my connection is back and I'm not choppy.
you're good. No, I can hear you perfectly.
Perfect. So she has put us inside 2 out of the 3 weeks we've had Rucker. Okay. There's no the I don't like being inside because of one, you have to play the fan. Okay. Two, you're so enclosed in there. And three, it's not a gym floor. It's just a hard concrete floor. It's not the stickiest. I don't like being inside. I want to be outside on the concrete, play the wind, sun beating down on you. I want to feel you know, the music in the background, the atmosphere, the people sitting across the street, Jay Brink's family all in attendance. They're still in attendance inside, but outside, just soaking up a Sunday outside in Harmony, Minnesota, catching some basketball on the concrete. That's what I want. So we're in week 4. Let's hope we're back outside. Doesn't look promising, but I have heard, according to source, says
Says
Gundo is down in Australia talking to some Aboriginal folk. He's doing a little anti-rain dance to try to send our way. Don't know if it's going to work.
really,
It's an ancient Aboriginal. I don't know. We'll see if we can get some. There, it's a very strict no filming policy, but we're going to see if we can get that filmed. But like as I was saying, we're back to week 1 as terms of schedule. So if we pull up the schedule, I don't know if there's really anything. So we got to think back, right? Obviously, at this point in the season, the Lions are your head points. The Lions are, pulling themselves away from everybody. The Lions play the Knights, the Red Sun, and the Red Raiders. I'm not expecting them to have any issues with that. That's what I'm seeing as a 3-0 weekend. Let's look at the Gators, the next most explosive team. They're playing the Black Panthers. Again, your biggest disappointment. The Hunters just haven't put it together. And the Wolves, I don't know. Wolves, you got to turn around. And let's look at the third best team, the Polars, playing the Red Raiders. Excuse me, I am blanking. Oh my gosh, the Storm.
Storm.
And I can't seem to find their third game.
I don't. Is it on here?
It's not even on here.
Did they not put the Polars third game
The
on
Wolves,
on the
the Wolves,
schedule?
the Wolves, Red Raiders, and the Storm. That's what it
I don't
is.
see it on. It's not on. It's not on this schedule. Is it? Oh, I see it. I was miss. I was misreading the schedule too.
I did the exact same thing. You didn't scroll far enough back, I bet.
Yep, I was in the final three. I just
Uh-huh.
kept on going to the
So
final three.
going into this weekend, of the top 3 teams, obviously, we could try to put some of the 4 or 5. I'm really excited to see the Polars and the Storm. That is the Polars coming weekend and the Storm, who have not necessarily played the most inspiring basketball, but this last weekend, coming off a 2-1 weekend, they had the Lions on the ropes. They were bam, bam, bam. And then Jay Brink said, watch this. Dropped 16 points, I believe 8 rebounds. Just absolutely took over control of the game. Any of those games stand out? Okay, let's keep it on Polars and Storm right now before we get out of here. Because we got a little
Yes,
bit of time here left.
we got 3.5
Um,
minutes till hard out.
3.5 minutes till a hard out. Okay. We're gonna hard out this thing so bad. We're gonna push it right to the limit. This is
Yes, we
being a
are.
professional. So if I'm obviously the Polars have built their entire team. They don't have a big. They don't have anybody that not that saying that Zach can't slow him down, but they have nobody that can slow down Colt Landers if he wants to get
No.
down low. Zach can obviously kind of give him a run for his money, but when you were an eating McDonald's All American like Colt Landers, nobody's going to stop you in the post, right? The only person that can even somewhat come close is the hardest man in the Rucker League, Ethan Lane, and even he has problems trying to stop that freight train down low.
Yes, he does.
The Colt's going to get his. Um, Trey Matheson. Trey this year, and we kind of talked about it before. Trey just hasn't shocked us, I guess. Excuse me. That's a
He was voted the
celery.
most overrated player in the league, and I don't want to say that he is or he isn't. That was a player vote. However, he was drafted as a second rounder, and he has been averaging what 4 or 5 points per game. I'm not sure what the exact number is.
4.5.
It hasn't been anything insane. And Colt, he's only going to be able to do so much out there. I think he can do more. Yes.
And
However,
McDonald
Trey
slows
needs
him
to
down.
step. It does. I mean, if he, I don't want to comment on that. I just know it does. But Trey needs to step up his game just a little bit more on the scoring end for the Storm to be elevated to the next tier of teams.
He does. And right behind, so Colts averaging 11 points per game, last I checked, 11 on the dot. Trey and Parker right next to each other at 22 and 23 in the league at 4.5 and 4.1 in that order. Of So on the flip side, though, the Polars have built their team around shooting. The Storm have big man, but rely on Parker Wong is a bigger guy, but he likes to shoot. Trey likes to shoot, but it just hasn't translated to points. They need to spread the wealth. They have Jeremy O'Connor to come in and give them that energizer spark.
We're gonna have the battle of Parker Wongans this weekend.
The battle of the Parker Wongans. And we cannot go without saying Parker Wongan had two
Two
game
game
winners
winners. The
inside. We can't
gamer,
go without saying,
the
yeah,
gamer Parker
Dodgers.
Wongan, Fillmore Central.
It's not gonna even give us a countdown. All right. Well, we have less than a minute left before our hard out here. Mason, do you have anything you want to say to the folks before we get out of here?
I think that this went better than expected for being our first online podcast. I'm excited to see how this ends up getting edited. It gets to you guys. I hope you guys really enjoyed. And I'm excited for Rucker tonight. Walker, I don't know how much time we have left, so you go hard out right now if you could.
And if I'm looking at it right now on the Sunday, we have a 65% chance of precipitation starting at noon, and it's going to peak around 3, 4 o'clock, right when Walker League's going to start. So if anybody is out there, if it's the morning of, I want everybody to go outside, do a little anti-rain dance, film yourself doing it, send it in to us. We're going to put it out there. This has been IHRL for episode 4, season 2, year 6 of the Harmony Rucker League.